Mike, you've been working with, leaders and leadership teams through your work and talking about, I got stuck on emotional intelligence here, so I hope you don't mind, I'm kind of come back to this, but have you seen emotional intelligence inside of teams grow over time? Can it be learned?
Absolutely. And a big part of it is focus. And I'll go back, Cathy, to what you said about emotions being such a driver. And one of the things I've learned, and it's the thing I focus on with my leaders from day one, is leaders tend to be very, very adept, very skilled at talking about what they don't want, about toxic people they don't want around, about a recession that's coming that they don't want, about whatever it is. Leaders are great at talking about all the things they don't want. But when you turn it around and say, all right, I understand that you're really upset with your team because they're not doing this and they're not doing this and they're not doing this. But what is it that you want? All of a sudden there's silence. And it's almost like the first time they're thinking about that question, which is amazing to me. And one of the things I've learned that you can absolutely coach and it absolutely impacts your emotions is you got to focus on what you want. Don't focus on what you don't want. I promise you, for anybody listening to this, when you are having a negative emotion, any negative emotion, it may be frustration, it may be anger, it may be sadness, it may be fear. When you're having a negative emotion, I will guarantee you that you are focused on what you don't want. There's no way you're having a negative emotion focused on something you want. It's just impossible. Those things don't mix in your head. So if you're having a negative emotion, don't wallow in it. Understand it. Like Cathy said, there's a space between having that emotion and acting where you could be proactive instead of reactive. If you're having that negative emotion, understand, okay, I'm focused on something I don't want. What do I want? And when you focus on what you want, that emotion is going to shift to a much more powerful emotion. It may just be an emotion of curiosity. How do I get that? It may be an emotion of excitement or of anticipation, or maybe even happiness or fulfillment. But that is absolutely coachable. I don't think someone, well, here they are, they've got a low emotional intelligence. I guess I can't work with them. Thank God it's coachable, or I probably wouldn't be here talking to you today. I'd be somewhere very different and all by myself and lonely and upset. I'd be the one whimpering in the corner. So absolutely it's coachable.
Love it. Yeah, and it's not to be a dead horse with the $1 trillion coach. Eric Schmidt needed a coach, and one of the things that Bill Campbell taught him is that, Eric, you're a smart guy. You have the answers. You need to pause, like Cathy said, and not respond when somebody asks that question or put something out there, and let your team noodle on it. Let them discover the answer. That's how you're going to make a better team, when the team is coming up with the solutions rather than you telling them what the solutions are. So that's just a powerful way of...
Michael, I'd say the challenge, and Cathy, you are probably more schooled on this than I am, but I've seen it. The challenge for family businesses there is, it's amazing when I work with non-family businesses. They think, when I talk to them about culture and respect and vulnerability and all those things, they think, wow, family businesses already they're a family. And you get corporations say, we want to be a family. I'm like, whoa, time out before you say you want to be a family. Because I'll tell you, most of the family businesses I've worked with, they act in a leadership setting the same way they act around the kitchen table, which is not necessarily respectful. There's not a lot of emotional intelligence there very often. And it's amazing how they talk to each other. And especially when you've got non-family on the leadership team sitting around the table, man, they want to crawl out of that room because they can't believe on how dad and son are beating each other up, or the brothers are beating each other up. I think that emotional intelligence, that vulnerability, is even more difficult in a family business, because you think you can act around the conference room table the way you act around the dinner table. And man, that stuff doesn't fly if you want to create a great business.